Hello everyone. Today we're going to be doing a different type of video from what I normally do regarding Genshin Impact, and it's going to be the first of its kind that I want to try and do twice a year. I'll explain why in a bit, but basically I want to do an account overview or an account showcase just to highlight my progression as far as where I'm at with the game, with my characters, my builds, my investment, also what I'm using my resin on, how do I go about my builds, and a few other things that I don't really get to, highlight when I upload my builds at the end of every challenge event video or every Abyss video. So with that being said, the reason why I want to do it twice a year is because I want to do it at the start of every new region and then at the midpoint of every new every region. And as of right now, it is quite a few days away from 4.5. So I figured why not do it now and get it out of the way. And then obviously the next one will probably be at the start of Natland. So I was going to do this before when 4.4 dropped, but I was in the process of moving and I didn't have the time to sit down and figure out how I was going to do this while also, packing away things and so on and so forth. So now that that's all settled, I can just jump right into it. I will leave timestamps to everything in the bottom in the description or pinned to a comment. So if there's a specific character you want to check out or a specific topic you want to check out, you're free to do so. So yeah, let's just get started. What you're looking at right now, it is my my main party that I walk around with in Overworld. But right now I'm just trying to get Xianyun's friendship level to 10. But as far as the characters themselves, I'll talk about, things that I would want to improve on for them, why they're using a specific build, and then if I'm still working on them or not. So to kick things off, I guess I will talk about my Raiden Shogun. She's pretty much the face of my account. She's the core of my account. She's the most invested unit on my account. So she's pretty well invested. Best in slot at R2, and then standard artifact build. You guys have probably seen her build over and over and over again. I usually bring her in every challenge event. I will bring her into an Abyss every so often, but not all the time. She doesn't really change much as far as her build because she has the best emblem pieces out of all the characters except maybe Yelan. But as far as improvements, there isn't really anything in particular that I would say that I would want to improve on her. Thinking on it more, I would say that she is a character that is still able to grow because of the fact that I'm always farming in Emblem if I'm not farming in any other domain. So whenever I find new pieces that are better than what she has, I do try and give them to her and then give someone else what she currently has. I think this is the only piece I'm it could be better, but it's already pretty good for the most part, except the energy rolls are kind of wasted, I feel. But overall pretty good, and then this could also be improved, but yeah, she doesn't really change much. I got her C3 as soon as she came out. And then she's one of two characters that's triple crown. If you're really focused on building her and stuff like that, I would only crown this, and then skill probably just talent level 7, I think, or talent whichever one, because at some point the elemental burst damage bonus stops improving. So yeah. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, Raiden is done as far as builds go. But she's always able to improve because I just don't leave Emblem, which I'm sure many other players don't either. Next up is Yelan. She is another character that very much similar to Raiden. She is quote-unquote done, but I'm always an Emblem, so there's bound to be pieces where, there's bound to be new pieces that I can probably just throw on her and it'll be an upgrade for her. Best in slot. The only thing I can say with her build is probably more energy. I'm gonna be real. Like if she was at 160 energy, I would be perfect. I would say she's 100% done. Would not even touch her. That or more crit damage, but she does have her best in slot. Her pieces are kind of weird. Like they're good, but they're kind of weird in the sense that a lot of her pieces just have like a lot of something. Like this has a lot of crit rate. This has a lot of energy. This is pretty balanced as far as I'm concerned. This is also another pretty balanced piece. This also has enough, a lot of energy and crit damage. So, like, it is a little hard to kind of replace those pieces, but it has happened every now and again. So, she is also like a work in progress. But as far as I'm concerned, she is done. I mentioned this before in one of my past videos, but I did get her C1 because I didn't want to change her artifacts for energy issues, but to remedy an energy problem. So I got the C1 and I kept rolling, and then C2 and C3 rolled in the same multi. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool, nice. Double crown. Honestly, that's pretty much it for her. Next, I have Xianyun, or a Cloud Retainer. Honestly, she's pretty much done as far as I'm concerned. I'm not going to push her to level 90 because she is mainly a support unit. But O1I, pretty standard. The only thing is really just, I guess, a little bit more energy, but I'm not like too pressed about it. It depends on the team, but she's pretty okay, honestly. She has good enough energy, good enough attack percent, good enough everything else. Iridescent, all I can ask for. No constellations. Talents are probably just gonna remain the same. And then Zhongli, he is my tenacity holder for my Eula team and for my Yoimiya team. Ratio is pretty okay, honestly. Death Magic is the only other weapon I could give him. I don't want to give him Fab because I don't really use it. But like I said, I don't really, not that I don't care about his build, it's just I'm not totally invested to like try and improve it any further. But you know, if I do need to burst with him, I do want the burst to be doing some level of damage, so that's why I did give him Geo and crit pieces. But other than that, yeah, if you just want him for the shield bot, I would say just triple HP, no constellations, and then just talents. As far as why he's level 80, and you'll see that going into my account further with some of the support units. The only units that I put to level 90 are units that have a high scaling to something or are DPS units with their best in slot. Otherwise, I will just leave it to level 80 because they're pretty much doing the same thing as they would at level 90, maybe like a little bit less. And then on top of that, it's just more resources, more talent books you have to go and farm for, more boss materials you have to go and farm for, which I'd rather just not even bother with that process, so yeah. Tartaglia, or Child, my first 5-star unit ever in this game. Honestly, he's pretty much done. I'm gonna be real. I've been working on him, trying to improve him slowly and slowly. He's been through a lot, but I think this right now is like the best he's going to get. Obviously his best in claw, 2-piece attack, 2-piece hydro. Pieces are insanely strong. Right now this is honestly his weakest piece. The only thing I would want to improve on him is giving him a little bit more EM, but it's not a major must right now, so he just recently got this, otherwise he would have been on a crit damage circlet in a different stance. But yeah, he's been going through it, but it's fair to say that he's done. C3, because I just love the character. I know his constellations are like not really the greatest, but I love this character so much that I'm just like, yeah, I'm willing to roll for it. And then talents, he's the only other triple crown aside from Raiden. So yeah, pretty good character, pretty cool, very fun. I love using his team. It's just like anytime there's a new Abyss, I always try to play the Abyss with this team. Well, with Child before I use like any other team. So next we have Itto. Itto, I honestly am just gonna say he's done. There's only like one thing I would want to improve on him, and it's more energy. That way he can burst off of cooldown. Well, get his burst back on off cooldown, off field. A little bit more reliably. Like he does have Goro has Fab and everything, and the geoparticles, but I would like it to be like a little bit more better, faster. So I'm trying to shoot for 130 energy, but his pieces unfortunately are again too good. This already has 10 energy right here. This has every crit and defense that he could ever imagine to have. This is pretty much solid for him. This is going to be hard to replace, and then the best thing I can do is probably get another piece like this, but I'm not so much stressing it. And then C0, double crown on burst and normal. Other than that, he is done because I don't want to farm in Husk all like that. I don't want a strong box for Husk because it's only him for right now that wants it, and I don't have any other Geo unit that wants Husk, so it's just like, yeah, whatever, it is what it is. Next we have Kazuha. I've had him since his first banner. Honestly, there's not really much to say for him, just high amounts of elemental mastery, high amounts of energy recharge, and then he's on Zyphos, which basically gives his entire party 10.5 energy. So if you see characters that have like, that would normally have like that should have a little bit more energy, if they're usually paired with Kazuha, just add the 10, and that's pretty much the energy that they have. Honestly, that weapon is a pretty big blessing on this account, or at least for any character that's able to hold it. But yeah, nothing really to see here. Just energy recharge, EM, and that's it. C0 for right now. I'm considering C2, but right now it's like, rather not. Talents, doesn't really matter. I just found this because I like the character a lot. So yeah, he's pretty good. Definitely a character. Him and Yelan are probably like two characters that I would say like every account should have. Eula, another one of my stronger characters. She's a work in progress. Well, she's been through a lot, I would say. She's kind of done, but I'm also slowly trying to find better pieces for her. She does have her best in slots. The only thing I would want to improve is give her more attack percent, because this is the only piece that has a high amount of attack percent. Everything else is just high crit damage or high crit rate energy, then high crit damage. I would say this is probably the weakest piece, if not this, but this has the benefit of being on set and it has energy. So it's like, okay, but this one I would say is the weakest piece. I think I could probably get something better. But yeah, C1 just because I like the character, I was like, okay, yeah, cool, whatever. And double crown. Very fun character. I know a lot of people don't like her, but I enjoy the way she plays. I enjoy using her in Raiden all the time. A lot of my challenge videos, I always use her just because with her and Raiden, they're just able to nuke back to back. So, I mean, you gotta appreciate that to some extent. Next up is Ayaka. She is kind of a work in progress. I would like to have more crit rate on her, but I'm not so invested in her as much anymore because of the fact that I hope that notification doesn't show up in the video. I don't really invest in her all that much anymore because this is probably the best that she's going to get, and then on top of that, I'd have to change. Her pieces are a little bit kind of cracked out right now, like double attack, crit damage, high attack, high crit damage, crit rate and attack, everything she could ever want, and then this is quote-unquote the weakest piece, but it's like whatever. But no constellations right now, and then double crown. She has fallen off in my opinion, for a hot minute. So that's the other reason why I don't really invest in her all that much. But I did give her Shenhe, I did give her Kokomi and all that stuff. And whenever freeze is available, she's able to clear it, obviously. But nowadays, well, there are other better characters that you can use that without needing to pull all these other 5 stars. So yeah. Other than that, really not much to say. She's still an okay character, but definitely has fallen off from like back in the day when she first came out. On the other hand, we have Cyno, who kind of had a rough start, but has managed to climb his way up to like being a pretty ridiculously strong unit. The only thing I could say about him, I don't really know. Like, I want to say that he's done, but because I don't want to go farm for Thundering Fury again, but at the same point in time, I really do think that he is pretty much done. He has good energy, good crit stats, good attack, good EM, so he has his best in slot. 4-piece Thundering. These pieces are pretty good for the most part. If I had to say, this is probably the weakest piece, but it's unironically also a pretty strong piece because it has a lot of EM, energy, and crit. The only thing that's holding it back was the flat attack, but it's okay. And then this is also pretty good. So, no consolation. I need to crown this eventually, but I don't like doing boss shop materials and all like that. Yae Miko, another character who had a rough start, but has managed to find her way with Dendro. Oh, I should say with Cyno, I mostly just use them with Hyper Bloom, especially with like Furina nowadays. I used them in one of the Abyss videos, 4.3. So, yeah. Yae Miko, again, another rough start character. She's probably the most recent character that I just quote-unquote finished working on or finished improving. I gave her, managed to pull Kagura's Verity for her. There isn't really much I want to improve for her. She's on double attack because I feel like this is the easiest, these are some of the easiest pieces to upgrade for her. Thundering Fury pieces just aren't worth it. And then I did try 4-piece Gilded, but I feel like Gilded requires like insane levels of stats to make up for the stats that these individual pieces are carrying for her. But yeah, I've been pretty content with this. Considering I farm Emblem pretty much all the time, if I wanted better pieces than these two, I can afford to do so. C1 just happened on its own. When I rolled for her during her debut banner, like three singles later, I got another constellation. I was like, oh, okay, cool, nice. Double crown. But yeah, this is probably like the newest thing. I know I just recently did a video of her, and in that video she was using wood tips, and now she has this. I'm like, yeah, she's pretty much done for the most part. Alhaitham, another really strong character overall, and also on my account. I would say he is done as well. I know a lot of people are gonna ask, oh, why is his energy super low? Honestly, it's because of the fact that I use him with Nahida as a Hyper Bloom driver. So not only does Nahida give him back the energy due to the particles, but also he doesn't need to burst because his Dendro Infusion will be longer than the uptime of Yelan and Kuki's skills. So, but yeah, these are pretty strong pieces for the most part on him. I would say this is probably maybe the weakest piece, but could be improved. But it's fine. And then yeah, C0, his constellations aren't worth it to me, and then double crown, the usual. As I said before, if the character is a DPS, has their best in slot, then the only other time they're going to be a level 90 character is if they have like a dumb broken support, and Nahida is a dumb broken support. Much like Kazuha, much like Furina. So I said, yeah, I don't mind putting them to 90. I I don't really have anything I want to improve with Nahida right now. She's pretty okay. She's pretty good. She has this, which is pretty nice. Pieces. This is an unfortunate piece, but it's saved by the EM. And then this is a pretty cracked piece. This is okay. This is pretty good for the most part. Then this could be somewhat better, but I'm not in a hurry to refarm. No constellations. I know how nuts her C2 is, but I'm not really interested in it. Talents are probably just gonna remain the same as they are. Furina is currently who I'm working on to improve. She's been through the ringer with the Golden Troop set, because right now she's working with this. The only thing I would want to improve is her energy to a point where she doesn't need an energy recharge stance. Wolfang, I already know, is not really that great, but the first part of the skill, which is the elemental skill and burst damage, is increased by 20%. The other part of it doesn't synergize with her, well, because of Golden Troop, but I mainly just use this on her because I have a crit damage circlet, and I haven't been able to get my hands on a crit rate circlet, so I'm like, okay, cool. But yeah, some of these pieces are only carried by their energy recharge, so there's that. But I do feel like I can probably get some better pieces to push her energy, push her damage, and honestly, really that's it. This is just a recent piece that she just got. The other piece she had, I think I threw it out. Yeah, I think I threw it out. And then this is the crit damage circlet. The only thing I would replace is the defense percent with HP percent, and she would be a lot better. No constellations. Talents are probably gonna remain the same, unless I try to get this up. But yeah, she's one of the characters. She's currently, like, if I were to go to a domain right now, it would be gilded to get her more pieces. Her and Fischl, but mainly just her, honestly. The amount of energy I want her to have is like 155-ish. Yeah, about a 155-ish. Honestly, I think this is probably the weakest piece. If I just get a piece like this that has double crit, HP percent, and energy recharge, I think it could be. I think it could be done. Next, we have Ayato. Ayato, I use very seldomly. Probably like, you probably see him like once a year during an Abyss showcase, but I rarely use this character. I got him because of the fact that I wanted all the Inazuma characters, and he is cool. He is fun to play, but it's just like, why would I play him when I have Child and when I have Yelan, when I have Furina? Like, I have a lot of Hydro units, so it's just like, he kind of got the short end of the stick, unfortunately. But yeah, as far as build, he is 100% done, considering I don't want to improve him because I don't use him all like that. I know the energy is low, but I use him in Soup Team to Kazuha, so if I add like another 10 energy to that, that's like 121 energy. Of course, I could always just change it, but you know, it's fine. Yeah, as his best slot. 4-piece Gladiator, because I'm gonna be real, Echoes is not worth farming. And then this was originally on Miko, but I gave it to Ayato. And then this is an insane piece. It's been bounced between him and Child, but right now he's holding on to it. And then yeah, this is all pretty good. Yelan is holding what he would have had, but considering Yelan needs it more, which would be this, it's like but yeah. No constellations, and then the only thing I crowned was his skill, just because the skill is the only thing that matters, and realistically with Ayato. Yoimiya, she is by far one of my favorite characters. I enjoy using her a lot. Build-wise, she is insane. The only thing I want to have for her is more crit rate, but aside from that, she's pretty nuts on her own. Best in slot. She has some pretty cracked artifacts from Shimanala. Partly because I low-key just farm Shimanala like it's no one's business. So it's like, yeah, cool. This is just a recent piece she got like a while. I want to say like a month or two ago. It was shortly before I moved. No constellations because the constellations aren't really that good. Double crown because I like this character a lot. There's not really much to improve on her unless it's just more EM, but she does a lot on her own anyway, so it's like whatever. And then for the last level 90, it is Hu Tao. I'm gonna have her stop. I was not really a big fan of her because of the fact that she is kind of frustrating to play, especially without C1. So I just kind of benched her, always left her at level 80. Then I put Xianyun, and then I tried her out with Xianyun, and I was just like, wow, Hu Tao is actually pretty fun with the plunging style. So I gave her, put her to 90, gave her this weapon. She's always had good Shimenawa pieces because if they would, like, as good as Yoimiya's, but if you factor in the amount of HP percent or EM that would roll every now and again, Hu Tao would just take those pieces and just run with it. But yeah, so her setup right now is this. I don't really have much to improve on with her, so it's like whatever. This is a pretty dumb weapon if you want to be a Battle Pass Andy and go for this, but and then yeah, like I said, think of Yoimiya's pieces but with HP percent or EM, and they're literally like what Hu Tao is holding. So yeah, pretty good overall, not bad. C0, I don't think I'm gonna get C1 because I have the Xianyun for plunging, so it's like whatever. And then I do want to crown this, but she's been doing pretty good even with that not being crowned. The highest I've seen out of a vaping plunge was like 190k-ish, 192k. So yeah, I'm pretty satisfied. But yeah, that's it for all my level 90s. I'm only gonna cover my level 80s, and then like maybe some honorable mentions within the level 70s. Actually, I'll probably just do level 80s and maybe some of the level 70s. Level 80 characters are the characters that I typically, that I would deem as supports or sub DPSs, or just characters that I started to invest in and never finished. So, yeah, I can just jump right into it. We have Venti, the Anemo Archon. Honestly, the same thing as Kazuha, just a bunch of EM and energy recharge. I gave him Elegy because I have 2 of these things, so, and then, yeah, same thing as I said before. It's just EM, energy, EM, and energy, and then, yeah, so there's that, and then 0 constellations because it's constellations, and 0 talents because it's, he's really just there just to press his ult and get it done and over with. But, yeah, constellations are kind of dog water on him. Shenhe, I got simply for Ayaka. She has been a nice welcomed addition on the account. It's just kind of sad that I don't really use Ayaka all like that anymore. But build-wise, there's not really much to talk about with her. She just wants attack and energy recharge, and as long as you have 4-piece no blast, she's fine. 166 energy, and then 2800 attack. Pretty good for the most part. Fab holder. I will say with the 30 crit rate, it is viable for the most part. And then high attack percent, energy recharge and crit rate, literally everything she could ask for. And then same thing here, especially with the flat attack. So C0, I'm not gonna get constellations for this character. And then talents are probably gonna remain the same as they are. Ganyu, I do not use at all. I don't even have I don't really have strong artifact pieces for her either. So, this is where she's at right now. It's pretty okay for the most part. She's holding on Skyward Harp, because all my other characters are holding all my other 5-star bow units are holding Elegy or Fav. Or their own personal weapons, honestly. Have her on Wanderer's Troop because I think this is the strongest set for her right now. I do have a competent Blizzard Strayer set for her, but it's just, I mean, I honestly feel like these are just like overall stronger, better pieces at the end of the day for her. And then, yeah. again, I don't really use her, so I don't really care too much about where she's at right now in terms of her build. So Baizhu, I got him when he first rolled for the first time on his first banner. Pretty good character. I don't have much to say about how I would go about improving him because he has a lot of HP. He has almost 200 energy. He's on TTDS, which means that I can just, well, it helps out whichever team that he's on. And then 2-piece emblem, 2-piece tenacity. I would go 2-piece HP, 2-piece HP, but I don't want to farm Veracash's Glow for that. But as far as the pieces are concerned, it's literally just crit rate, energy, and HP percent, energy. And realistically, the crit rate doesn't really matter. It's just substats that end up rolling. I don't think he needs an HP Sans. I think it's just interchangeable. If you have an HP weapon, you can go energy recharge Sans. If you have an energy weapon, you can go HP Sans. So, but as long as you have 200 energy, it's fine. Or if you pair him with Furina, then he's just like good when it comes to energy. This is, I would say, his weakest piece, but it's on set, so it's like, actually, if this is on set, I could just do this. I'll tinker with that later. I'll tinker with it later. And then, yeah, HP, not much to say here. No compilations, and then this is about as what I'm gonna get in terms of talents. I'm not in the business of farming. I could, but nah, not worth it right now. Kokomi, I got her very early into Sumeru, and just because, again, she's an Inazuma character, and then she found her place with Shenhe and Ayaka, but also with Mono Hydra with Furina, so, there's not much to say with Kokomi's build. They're pretty similar. Oh, well, yeah, she plays TTTS. I should level 90 this, but... So, I play the Tenacity set on her. I don't like... But I feel like... While Xingqiu is good, this is slightly better, depending on... I feel like I mainly only use her for Ayaka teams, so Ayaka would appreciate this more than the Xingqiu clam effect. Even though I think Xingqiu is probably better in the case of, like, Mono Hydro if you're using Furina, and if you're attempting to buff Yelan or a few other characters that don't scale with attack, then it's probably better. But if you're playing her with attack units, Shenhe, Ayaka, I think it's overall better. Yeah, this rolled into crit rate, but luckily it was only like one extra substat roll, and then this had crit damage, but only rolled once. Everything else is just fine on her. It's just energy and HP. That's really it. Attack and whatever. C0 is not investing in constellations, and talents are as good as they're gonna get. Diluc, I'm gonna be real. I have no intention of leveling this character. Partly because of the fact that I don't have his best in slot. I know this is okay, but like I'd rather have it just to match the character. I've yet to get a Wolf's Gravestone, so LOL. When I do get it, I might be inclined to invest in him. If I did invest in him, I would, I'd probably just get a different one of this. I would probably just get a different piece of this. And then everything else is just like, whatever, but yeah, it's, yeah, C2, because failing 50/50s is a concept. When I did used to use them before a lot, but then who did I start using? In terms of Claymore purposes, I was using Eula. In terms of Pyro purposes, I had Bennett, typically, and then eventually I got Yoimiya, so it was like, whatever. But yeah, Diluc, you'll probably never see this guy in anything. Rosaria, she is just to support Eula, but definitely my favorite 4-star. Promoted Jade Wing Spear just because, again, favorite 4-star. And she, honestly, she's the reason why I even started playing. Like, I saw other characters like Dainsley, Jean, that I was like super interested in, but was told I wouldn't be able to get either of them. So I was like, oh, okay. And then I saw Rosaria. I was like, okay, I'll take her. So, another reason why I do enjoy using Eula a lot is because it's one of the only teams that I get to use Rosaria a lot. In terms of the build, it's just 4-piece Noblesse because Eula needs the attack percent, and then also with Rosaria's build in particular, she's just to be a crit rate buffer. With her crit rate right now, she's able to give 10 crit rate to her party members. So obviously C6 because I've been playing this game a lot, so I've accumulated a C6 of her. Most of the 4-stars are C6. So, and then this is about as close I'm gonna get in terms of. Oh yeah, these are max level anyway, so it's like whatever. But yeah, this is where Rosaria is. Kuki, I will probably only see in Hyper Bloom teams for me. I don't really have anything I would like to improve on her. I think she's done. I honestly am content. She's done. If I manage to pull another Zyphos, I would give that to her because Zyphos is pretty nutty. A lot better than Iron Fist. Gilded. It just so happened that these gilded pieces rolled a lot into HP% and crit rate. And she was holding Fav as well, so I did value the crit rate a lot. But she does have triple EM, and then the healing is coming from the HP substats, so yeah, she's doing a lot for the most part. C6 obviously, and then yeah, the skill is the only thing that's like high level. So yeah, she's done. Beidou is one of my other favorite 4-stars. I don't have anything I would want to improve on her. She has a lot of energy. She has high crit. Her weapon is Serpent Spine. Whoops. Yeah, her weapon is Serpent Spine. So pretty good for the most part. She's been on a lot of different set pieces, but I've left her on Emblem because realistically her burst is one of the only thing that matters, and the difference between any other set pieces and Emblem, it's very negligible. If you care about the counter, the substats can make up for the counter as well as buffing your ult damage a lot higher. So aside from that, yeah, this is about where she's gonna get. A lot of these pieces are Raiden's hand-me-downs, so not much of a surprise of why they're pretty good. And then C6 obviously, and then same thing as Rosaria, max level on talent. So yeah, I usually use her a lot. Well, if her and Raiden worked, then I would 100% use her. But I did used to use her with Cyno a lot in aggravate teams, and then I tried it with Ayato, but Ayato, if he was going to do Taser, then I would just give him Kuki instead. But definitely looking for a character that can utilize her because she has a pretty good skill. But yeah, really should have been Raiden, but whatever. Xingqiu, not much to say. Everyone builds the Xingqiu pretty much the same. High crits, high energy, sacrificial sword. Even though Fab can work just as good, but sacrificial sword I like just because I like the double. As far as artifacts, the same thing with Raiden and with Yelan. They're just like hand-me-downs for the most part. So yeah, C6. I got a C6 pretty late into Sumeru, or like around the time when I got my Kokomi was when I got his C6. So, and then yeah, high talent levels. Well, the highest was gonna get. If there's anything I would want to improve on him, not really. I honestly think he's done. The only time I adjust him is if there's a new emblem piece. Bennett's pretty much done. Like, I'm real. Skyward Blade has 244 energy recharge because it only takes 2 to 3 E's. I want to say 3. I'm gonna be on the safe side, say 3 E's, for him to get his burst back, and then the rest of it can just be funneled into Xiangling. So that's why I have his energy recharge a lot higher. Other than that, 4-piece no blast, pretty standard build. A lot of HP and crit substats. The crits are just a product of pieces rolling pretty good. Like this piece right here, that is 33.4 crit damage. I don't know why, but yeah. C5, C6, I've been tempted to. I know the whole C6 doesn't damage your account, and I've even preached this. The reason I don't is because I think when I get to Natland, because there's one character that I do want to see, like in terms of playstyle, if I would even use them with Bennett or not. But after Fontaine, I'll probably just activate it and then just get it out of the way. The only thing that matters with Bennett is the ult, so yeah. Xiangling, the only thing with Xiangling, actually no, I would say she's done too. Has good EM, well, a lot high EM. The attack looks low, but I pair her with Bennett. Okay, so yeah, there is one thing I would like to do with Xiangling, and that's finish refining the catch, but at this point, it doesn't really matter. Like, she hits good enough anyway. Yeah, and her pieces, again, really good. Have a lot of energy, EM, like, perfect pieces on her, I would say. I gave her EM stance because she already has the attack percent from Bennett, and then EM is just going to make her vape even more. And obviously, energy recharge stance is kind of wasted, so I'm like, well, I might as well just make her vape a little more. And then Pyro Goblet, that also has attack percent, substat and everything, so yeah, C6, usual. Tempted to give Globa more, but we all know that it's really just a Pyronado, so yeah. Jean, I know Jean has seen a very big resurgence ever since Furina. I've been using her a lot, but even before Furina, this is what she was working with, in terms of stats. She has the Jade Cutter. I know Furina could honestly use the Jade Cutter, but I'd rather give it to Jean, just because silly reason, but it just matches, and I do like my Jean a lot to give her this, so I'm like, yeah. Viridescent, just to shred and all that stuff. But pretty strong Viridescent pieces overall. I don't really have much to say for how I would want to improve her, but yeah, she's C5, just one more and she'll be C6, and that's pretty much it. And then obviously, you know, these are going to be as high as they're going to get. Yeah, I don't have anything to really say for how I would go about improving Jean. I think she's fine as is. She heals just great. And yeah, honestly, yeah, that's pretty much it for her. Oh well. Tighnari. So I do not use Tighnari. The only thing Tighnari is doing is holding gilded pieces that were on other characters, namely Alhaitham. So yeah, this ratio is pretty good, and then he's holding this because this was originally Child's bow and it matches, so it's okay. Yeah, these are pretty insane pieces. And then, yep, the usual. Aside from that, he did get a, yeah, he does have C1. I think that was from when I was playing for Child. And then, yeah, this is a clear indication that I do not play this character. I only gave him this, and it's just like, yeah. Mainly the reason why I don't play him is because, as far as Denjo was concerned, I did not care for it, and then I pulled Nahida, and then I pulled then I pulled Baizhu, which I get it, he's not a driver, so it's like whatever. I also had Traveler at the time as a Denjo unit, and then finally I pulled Alhaitham, and then that was just like, well, if I'm gonna use a Denjo unit, it's probably just gonna be him, so yeah. Mona, I used to use a lot with Ayaka, but with Kokomi. I think her best team with Ayaka's best team is with Mona anyway, so I'm like, yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, whatever. But I like the Kokomi a little bit more because tenacity in the middle list, and then also the fact that there's healing involved. But oh Jesus, wrong button. But yeah, TDDS holder. Mona's strictly just crits and energy. That's really it. She has the highest energy pieces that I could afford on her. So yeah. Then C1. But yeah, I only played her for a little bit, and she's only ever been on level 70 because she's just been in E-burst bot, and then just let the freeze do its thing. Sucrose, I only don't use Sucrose because of the fact that I have Kazuha, also have Venti, and I have Xianyun. And then also, I don't have that many viridescent pieces left for her. So, I'm just at the point where I'm like, yeah, I quite literally took off all of her pieces and gave it to Venti. I should give this to Venti too, but oh well. But yeah, actually, maybe. But yeah, C6 obviously, and then yeah, not much to say about Sucrose. She's cool, she's great, she's this and that. I personally don't use it because I have a lot of other Nemo units, and I don't want to farm another viridescent set. Kujo Sara. So if I take this off Venti, yeah. So I never really liked using Sarah, but I've started to use her recently because of the fact that it's just another team that Raiden could be thrown on. Definitely been somewhat enjoying it a little bit more, but Sarah's, I don't really have any complaints for her build. Her build is pretty much done. I give her just leftover pieces that other characters have, so I will say, if you're not holding an energy weapon, I would probably give her an energy recharge stance, and vice versa. If you are holding an energy recharge weapon, you'd probably just give her an attack stance. So C6. She was C6 when I first got Raiden, so, and then yeah. I know that her level would make her buff go up a little bit higher, but I just don't bother with it. Next is Fischl. I also have her with Elegy at the end. I play her in a lot of other teams, like with Yae Miko, Overrate with Yoimiya, sometimes with Raiden. It just really, or with Overload with Yoimiya as well. But yeah, she's really just there just to support and just to aggravate a lot. I mainly just put her with aggravate teams, honestly, and especially with the gilded pieces. She's the other reason why I'm staying in gilded, if not for Furina. These pieces could also be improved upon. I do want to get an attack stance that's on this level for her, but yeah. I could throw this on Furina, but I don't have any crit damage pieces for Furina. I don't have heavy crit damage pieces for her, so yeah, C6, and then yeah, odds, yeah. And then lastly for my level 70s is Chevros. Chevros is done to an extent because of the fact that yeah, with 58 crit rate on a Fab Lance, and then with tenacity, at one point she was holding Noblesse, but I'll only give her Noblesse depending on the team. Like if the team doesn't have a Noblesse user, then I'll give her Noblesse. But I think for me to finish her, I would have to farm double attack. Well, the other HP piece. I don't know why I said double attack. The double HP. So I would have to go to Very Cautious Glow. Don't want to, because, but it's considerable. Pieces wise, they're okay. Like these are some pretty decent pieces for the most part. And then HP, and then yep, HP. So no constellations yet. I think the constellations just improve her healing, except for this one. But there's no character that I want right now. Well, she's only ever been on one banner, and I was really hoping I didn't get the 5-star on that banner. So I'm like, okay, maybe on another banner. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my characters. The only other ones are probably just like Goro, who is just there for Itto, and then Yao Yao, and Toma, and all these other characters I barely ever use anymore, except for Goro. I don't use Traveler, I don't use Yunjin, even though I have them at C6. Goro only with Itto, Diona I don't really use as much anymore. Lisa, not anymore. Yao Yao, unless I really need the healing, I don't really use her. Same with Toma, so yeah, that's it for the characters. As far as what domains I farm at nowadays, it's literally only Gilded. No, I'm sorry, not Gilded. Golden Troop. And then if I don't have to farm there, I will just simply go to Emblem because I much rather be farming an Emblem because there's a plethora of different characters I want. Emblem and Shimenawa for that matter. So there's that. But yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of builds. I guess like for more context of how I started the game. I started during Child's first rerun banner. Like just before Inazuma. I played since then because it was the first time Rosaria came out. So I've been playing for honestly a good 2-3 years, I would say. But I didn't clear my first Abyss until I want to say 2.1. Yeah, 2.1 was when I first 12-starred Abyss. But I didn't think to record it, so technically my first proof of clear is 2.2, which was during the Kokomi banner, I think. No, not Kokomi. Child and Hu Tao. Yeah, there you go. It was those two. Like that's the one that's still on my channel. But yeah, as far as characters that I am looking to get, Nubula is a pretty big consideration, but I have so many other Hydro units, so I'm just like, I'm good. Even though Nubula is really, really cool, I'm just like, I'm good. I even have the pieces for him, but trying to think of who else. Wanderer is a character I really want to get. Other than that, it's honestly pretty much it. Like there's other characters that I hope would be characters down the line, like Clarin. I really hope that she's going to be a character that comes out that's made playable soon. So, otherwise, I don't really have any like wants in terms of characters. I feel like I've gotten like the bulk of what I can in terms of the roster. Otherwise, yeah. I guess that's honestly pretty much it. I've talked about all my characters, all the builds. I guess in terms of Abyss, I mean, let's be real. I've 36 starred every single Abyss since I first 36 started, like back in 2.1. So you don't have to worry about that too much. Challenge events, I enjoy doing those a lot whenever they can, but yeah. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it in terms of my account so far. I guess that's it. So if you enjoyed the video, do leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz down. And I'll see you in the next video, which will probably be another Abyss video. I'm going to be real, I don't think I'm going to pull for Chiori. She is an Inazuma character, and I've said that I wanted to pull all the Inazuma characters, but I think I'm going to pull her on the rerun because I really have a feeling that Clarin is going to come out soon. So I'm like, yeah. that, and even if I didn't have a feeling that she was going to come out soon, I would probably roll for Nouvellette, but it's whatever. I'd rather just save and keep it moving. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the account. Thank you guys for watching. You can look forward to this type of video again when Natland comes around. That way you can see like the improvements. I can talk more about why some characters changed their builds and so on and so forth, I'm assuming. Because I feel like between the Abyss periods, you don't really notice the improvements. Like, it can, and then also I don't really get to showcase all the characters, all like that anyway. I'm only really showcasing the characters that I use, so I bet people probably didn't know that I had a Ganyu or some of the other characters in here, so yeah, but yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Laters!